All right, some breaking news today that I'm sure Michelle Wu is going to absolutely love. Yeah, ICE is back, okay? They are back in Boston, and obviously you're going to have a mix of people that are thrilled about this because they are getting criminals off the street that are raping children, they're killing people, whatever it may be. And then you're going to have the other side that is doing their best to try to protect these people. So, just recently on my Discord server here. By the way, if you're not a member of the channel, you will get access to our Discord server. And a lot of people post, different news articles. We talk in here, whatever. Anyway, this is from Bill Malusian. I just opened this as we are speaking. Okay, let's go over this. And okay, there is a video too. So it says exclusive. We joined one of more than a dozen ICE teams deployed in the greater Boston area yesterday, where we witnessed the arrests of a previously deported child rapist living next to a playground, a Salvadoran alien on El Salvador's most wanted list, with an Interpol red notice warrant for aggravated homicide, aggravated kidnapping, and robbery, a fentanyl trafficker, a second alien charged with aggravated child rape, another alien charged with rape, and another alleged child sex predator. This is who is living within our communities. This is who the state is setting up legal funds for to try to protect. It is absolutely 1984 dystopian society we're living in here, right? It is absolutely nuts. All in a matter of hours, all of whom had been roaming freely on Massachusetts streets prior to ICE arrests, and several of whom had been released from local custody with no notice to ICE. Again, before I get into this video, you people need to stop complaining about these area of effect arrests that are happening for people that may not be violent criminals that are getting scooped up as well with the violent criminals. Because what's happening is, if the state doesn't cooperate with ICE, guess what's going to happen? These people are going to go back onto the streets. They're going to be with their friends. They're going to be with their family members, so on and so forth. And they're going to get arrested too if they came in illegally. So in my opinion, it's in everybody's best interest to cooperate, to mitigate that AOE damage that these people are getting that may not necessarily be a violent criminal. Of course, yes, they broke the law. They came here illegally. I'm just saying in the mindset of people that are against cooperating with ICE and then also simultaneously complaining when ICE picks up these people that do not have criminal records, okay, or violent criminal records, right? ICE has surged resources to Boston and Massachusetts as promised by Tom Homan in response to sanctuary policies. ICE Boston tells us local anti-ICE activists, here we go, have been interfering with their operations daily. They should be arrested. Yesterday alone in East Boston, ICE said one of their teams arrested a criminal alien and put him in handcuffs when a group of activists grabbed him and tried to pull him into their car. I said this yesterday. I just want to say this really quickly. I was over a friend's house yesterday who came here legally, by the way. Not going to mention their name, but the fact is this. It's like the less cooperation that you have with ICE, the people are putting themselves in terrible, terrible situations to protect criminals. Like, what world are we living in here? What world are we living in? It's absolutely crazy. I asked ICE Boston's Chief Patricia Hyde what her message is to politicians who keep fighting ICE. We're not going away. It might take us longer. It might be harder, but we are not going away. We are here. We know what the American people voted for. We understand that we work for the American people, and we are going to be here until we send everybody home. Let's watch this. Hang on. All right, let's start this from the beginning.
Want to huddle up for 1 second, please?
It's dawn in Massachusetts, where Fox News was given exclusive access to ICE's elite Boston team.
All of our targets today are extremely violent, so please use extreme caution. Good luck out there and be safe.
You know, when you think about it, these people are putting their lives on the line to arrest these people, and then you have this subsequent group like this loose mass or whatever the hell it's called that's trying to obstruct ICE's operations, right? So they're making things, think about what happened in Worcester. They make things significantly worse for the same exact outcome that's going to happen anyway. Like is it just virtue signaling instead of actual virtue? Like, is that really what's happening here? It's crazy.
ICE quickly moves on its first target and arrests him. He's a Salvadoran illegal alien on El Salvador's most wanted list, with an Interpol red notice out for his arrest for aggravated murder, aggravated kidnapping, and robbery.
Let's just wait right here. This car is going to pick you up, all right?
ICE then arrested this Salvadoran illegal alien, who was previously convicted of child rape. He was deported in 2017 after he went to prison and illegally re-entered the U.S. He was found living right next to this children's playground.
There you go. Illegal re-entry, by the way, is going to be a loophole that ICE is going to use to get warrants to deport people, because they are doing that. It's called Operation Guardian Angel. It's happening in California right now. I could do an entire other video about that.
So you guys just snagged a previously deported, convicted child rapist living 100 yards from a child's playground. Is that unusual out here?
Not in Massachusetts. It's not unusual. Due to the open border policies, we are finding that plenty of people who have been previously deported and committed heinous crimes and were removed from the country are now back here, just living among us. And now that's our job to go round them up.
Nothing else? No other medication?
We joined ICE as they also arrested this Colombian illegal alien, facing pending charges for sexual assault of a child, as well as this Dominican alien with a drug trafficking conviction who's now facing local charges for fentanyl distribution. Meanwhile, away from our cameras, another ICE team arrested this Guatemalan illegal alien who's facing charges in Massachusetts for aggravated child rape, but was released from state custody.
Yep.
They also arrested this Honduran alien who's facing local charges for rape and was also released from local custody. Your message for the politicians who continue to fight you guys?
We're not going away. It might take us longer. It might be harder, but we're not going away. We're here. We know what the American people voted for. We understand that we work for the American people, and we're going to be here until we send everyone home.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like she said, we work for the American people. Who are the politicians working for? Think about it. Like, the majority of the public want violent criminals out of their backyards. So why are politicians? This is like the question it keeps me up at night. Like, why do they keep on? What is the incentive to keep on protecting these people that are violent criminals that they're releasing back on the streets for $500 bail? I just don't get it.
And Bill, ICE Boston tells us that local anti-ICE activists have been interfering with their operations virtually every single day. They say yesterday alone in East Boston, they had arrested a criminal alien and put him in handcuffs when a group of activists grabbed onto that alien and tried to pull him into their car to get him away from ICE. Then in a second incident yesterday, ICE says they were surveilling a murderer's home in their car when a crowd surrounded their vehicle, blew their cover, and they had to pull off the target. Again, a murderer.
Wow.
We'll send it back to you.
Wow, all in one day. Extraordinary stuff. We'll see what happens today and into the weekend. Bill, thank you, live in Boston.
Yep.
Dana.
Let's bring in Tricia McLaughlin. She's the DHS Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs. I think it's quite alarming. As Bill Malusian was reporting that, Tricia, he and I said, this was all in one day. And this is just one state, one city, one state. How much bigger is this across the country?
Dana, it's even bigger. And I do want to note that these protesters are emboldened by politicians like Tim Walz, who likens our brave ICE enforcement officers to the Gestapo and to Nazis. A Democrat representative, Dan Goldman, out of New York yesterday just held a press conference, again likening our ICE enforcement officers to the Gestapo. Our ICE officers are facing a 400% increase in assaults against them. Meanwhile, they're just trying to make American communities safer. As Bill mentioned, just in the last week alone, We've arrested off the streets of Boston MS-13 gang members, Tren de Aragua, convicted murderers, child rapists, truly the worst.
Do you hear what she's saying? That is who was allowed to come here. And that is who people like Maura Healey and Michelle Wu and Elizabeth Warren and Ed Markey and all of these other nitwits are trying to protect.
The worst, who have been in our American streets with impunity for the last 4 years. And Dana, what's important to remember is that these sanctuary city politicians, their policies create magnets for these criminal aliens to come into these communities because they know that there's not repercussions at the hands of the city and that the city will in fact hamstring our ICE enforcement officers.
And incentives.
There is an objective that has become clear about the numbers of deportations that your group wants to find. It's 3,000 a day, which computes to 90,000 a month. Is that realistic? And if so, how far away are you from realizing that goal?
The American people gave President Trump and Secretary Noem a very tall task when they demanded that these criminal illegal aliens be out of our country. We know that about 20 million people illegally came into our country over the last 4 years.
Could you imagine that? So 3,000 people, what they say, 3,000 a day? That's 90,000 a month. That's just over 1 million per year. Even if they reach that target, even if they reach that target, which they're more than likely not with all of this opposition. Where was the opposition when the people were coming here? But the fact is like you have 20 million people. It's going to take 15, 16 plus years based on their on paper metrics. And, you know, as I say all the time, what you write on paper, when you put it into practice, especially when you have these absolutely crazy activist groups that are trying to protect these people, it makes it substantially harder. So what is it going to take 25 years to clean up the mess that under 4 years of the Biden administration caused? It's crazy.
And we are hell-bent on getting them out, especially the worst of the worst. I mean, Dana and Bill, I get reports coming across my desk every single day that have child rapists, murderers, Tren de Aragua, people who human traffic others with impunity. And the numbers we will reach. I'm confident that we will deliver on the American people's mandate. Secretary Noem has done a phenomenal job in just over 100 days. Our borders closed, but we got to get these numbers up, and we won't be satisfied until we clean up American
streets. Okay, if you do the math over a year, you're more than 1 million, and we'll see whether or not that can be achieved. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like with everybody that keeps on trying to give pushback on this, I think that's a huge part, huge part of the problem. And, you know, I was thinking about this the other day, and not to make this video into like a 25-minute rant or something, but the other day I was thinking to myself, okay, there's 7,500 people reported in the shelters, right? And we're spending upwards of like $3,000 a day per person. Or I'm sorry, $3,000 a week per family, I should say. So that's like around $12,000 a month. Like, I don't know how accurate those numbers are, right? Meaning, I think that the number of people that are here, like one of these two numbers doesn't add up to me, okay? $12,000 a month for a family is a lot of money, okay? That is quite a bit of money. I mean, it's a lot of money, especially for people who just got here. I feel like that's a very large sum of money. So what I'm trying to say is like, either there's more people, and again, this is complete speculation, either that number is not necessarily true, meaning the $3,000 per week, okay? And it's less than that. Or there's more people here that they are helping than what they're claiming. If that makes sense, because I just feel like that $3,000. I mean, I just feel like that number. So one of those two numbers, I feel like there's got to be something in the mix here that's not adding up to me, right? At least that's my thought. But anyway, on this video, you know, a lot of people criticize that they're publicizing these things, that they're doing this and they're making it like a political stunt or something like that. But the fact of the matter is, I think that if you limit this information, I think that what you're doing is you're not necessarily informing the public. And I think that's why they are doing this. So instead of people that are, let's say just going out and living their lives, they don't realize what's in their backyard. And I understand this could be counterintuitive as well, but I would rather know than not know. Like if I'm in a neighborhood and, there's, one of these people within said neighborhood, I would want to be a little bit more cautious. So I think the state, when they say like, I think Michelle Wu said something about, they're making a political stunt about this or whatever, and it's not as bad as it actually is, whatever nonsense she's trying to say. And the reality is, I would think that most people would want to know this information so that they could be on high alert if they lived and or live in one of these communities that has these Healy hotels set up or whatever it may be. And, somebody brought up a good point the other day. They were talking about people leaving. I think somebody in the comments or somebody emailed me. They were saying something along the lines of like, at least, and this is true. So within the hotels themselves, you kind of have isolated problems, right? But then what happens is when you take people out of the hotels and you put them into, let's say, general population, number one, it probably makes it significantly harder for ICE to arrest these individuals. And number two, now these people are being scattered throughout communities. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's a problem. And I'm not saying that they should stay in the emergency shelter system because that obviously does cost us more money, but they created a problem that they solved, but by solving the problem, they're also creating another adjacent problem that will also need solving. You see what I'm saying here? So like there's absolutely no win-win. There's no win-win. But yeah, that's it. I might have another video for you today. I was working on prior to this and prior to our Discord chat sending this my way. But anyway, that's it for now. You may have another video later. All right, guys. Bye-bye.